This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sarah Strichty. I work for the Children's Cabinet in Reno, Nevada, and I'm putting this video together to help you understand more about how you can implement more brain building in your program with Vroom. I start this webinar assuming that you have some familiarity with Vroom and you just want to find ways to include it in your program. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the basics of Vroom, but a little bit. I'm here as a resource and I can help you customize a way to implement Vroom in your program, but this video that I'm recording right now is for anyone who wants some general ideas. So welcome and thanks for joining us. Today, we will review Vroom a little bit and we'll take a walk through the resources. We'll talk about ways that we can layer Vroom into various early learning programs, and we'll share a couple of other ways that you can join in on Nevada's Brain Builders. Together, Mind in the Making and Vroom are complementary offerings, responding, to the national landscape of early learning. So there's partners doing this work all around the country. Both of these early learning programs are asset-based, and they start with the relationships that we build between caregivers in the lives, or between children and caregivers in the lives of families. I encourage everyone to consider embarking on a learning journey by reading the book Mind in the Making, or by joining one of the virtual learning modules that's available online. If you want help finding those trainings, visit childrenscabinet.org or reach out to me directly. I include this because I'm the coordinator in the state of Nevada for these programs, but I'm not the best messenger to get the information to parents. That's why I include this slide here. I'm here to support you in the effort and to provide technical assistance and collateral and all that kind of thing. But I wanted you to see this little graphic just to reiterate that parents trust you and you are a great messenger for this brain building movement. Vroom is rooted in science, as you know, because you've probably seen some of this introductory stuff before. It was developed by working with leaders in neuroscience, psychology, behavioral economics, parenting, and early childhood development. Their work together informs Vroom Tips, which we'll get to a little more in detail a little bit later. Vroom Tips are a tool to help promote activities that are scientifically proven to be brain building. I always spend time on these fundamentals because I believe that truly embedding this stuff in our programs doesn't have to be with Vroom collateral or social media outreach or even specific family engagement programs, though it can be. We can be brain builders simply by finding one subtle way to include one or more of these principles into just one or more of the things that we do in our programs. If you can find one little way to promote positive adult-child relationships or to increase back and forth interaction between adults and children, or to promote executive function skills, you're part of that movement. And chances are you're already doing several of these things without even thinking about how they work, because we all have what it takes already. And you guys are out there in the field doing this now. So the Bezos Family Foundation took those findings and showed us that those three key scientific principles are what we need to focus on. And I want to help you conceptualize how we can do those things. Vroom offers 5 basic steps that we can use to integrate more brain building into the time we spend with kids. Vroom tips are designed to do just that, just those 3 things, that relationships and interactions and executive skill building, by using these 5 brain building basic actions. Vroom tips encourage caregivers to build their child's brain by making eye contact, by chatting from birth on, stretching out moments with follow-up comments or questions, and more. Obviously, we don't need Vroom tips to practice these actions, but these 5 brain building basics make it really easy. Just leave that up there for one more second so you can see it. And then let's go and look at an actual Vroom tip. So this is just to refresh your memory of how the Vroom tips are put together. They expand on the 5 brain building basics that we just saw: look, follow, chat, take turns, and stretch. There's a collection of over 1,000 Vroom tips, and it's really the cornerstone of the free Vroom tools and resources that are out there. The tips promote brain development for children ages 0 to 5, developing language, early literacy, numeracy, and executive function skills. The science behind the tips comes directly from Mind in the Making and the scientific advisors that we saw earlier. You can see the age range that this tip is geared to in the upper right corner, right? So these are geared towards different age groups, and they have 2 sides or 2 parts. One side being the actual activity that we see here on the left. It's one that's age appropriate, doesn't require a lot of extra time or money or setup. And the other side of it is the why. The brainy background explains how the interaction builds the child's brain. And this is, you'll see this set up 2 parts for Vroom tips in different ways, and you'll see more of that as we go through these slides. After that little review, I want to transition into looking closely at the tools and collateral that can be folded into your program. Really the specific things that it might take a little digging to see, so I wanted to take some time to go over it with you. And with that, I think I'm going to try to change my screen. Just 1 minute though. So like I told you, the tips are kind of the cornerstone of the Vroom tool. It's the app is the primary way that caregivers use Vroom. The free Vroom app is easily available for your smart device. And it's the primary way that caregivers are interacting with Vroom. That can work for you too, but there are other ways to access the tips. Some families prefer to receive the tips via text, and other families use the app through their Kindle or through their Alexa smart speaker. Those of you who are listening will probably get to what you need through the website. So I'm going to switch screens a little bit so that we can walk you through the website. But I'll note first that the site I'm going to show you is being updated to be more user-friendly for professionals who use it. So we'll see some changes over the next few months, and I'll just give you an idea of what's generally available. So bear with me while I switch my screen. So I'm going to start on the website here. It's just vroom.org, very simple. This first space here, right on the landing page, you can just see some of the printable materials that are available. These pop up. There's links to a number of different languages for a variety of different tip collections. And I'll explain that a little bit more too as we go on. But I just wanted you to see that's right there on the landing page, some things that you can print out or download. I like to show you this part of the website because I think this is what you might be using soon or most often. So you can see that the tips are kind of available in these different categories for different types of learning moments. Sometimes my controls get in the way, so it's hard for me to see the whole screen and take you where I wanted to go. Okay, so I wanted to show you tools and resources. And again, this shows you different ways that you can get to Vroom, including some of the videos, again, which I'll go into later. Printable materials that are available for you, including sort of promotional materials here to build awareness, and then some specific materials for sharing Vroom tips and activities that these are the kinds of things you might build in to a curriculum, and these are the kinds of things you might use more specifically for outreach. So they're very flexible. That's one of the beautiful things about Vroom. It's really flexible and able to layer in. So I wanted to show you just that website because that's one way of accessing Vroom. You can also, if you are using the app, you can log in on this website and you can see pretty much the same things that you would see through the app. You can see here that I've customized my account for my kids, and it gives me tips every day through the app that I can see here on the website too, that are specific for my child, his age, and the kinds of activities that I have prioritized. So this is a fun way to explore Vroom if you're using the app. Also, if you can create an account here that you might use in your classroom together. But you can also use this, like I showed you before, just to demonstrate, just to look at the tools and resources that you can download and browse. I'm also going to show you, there's a few of the videos that are available there on the website, but YouTube is the best place that I've found to really browse and pick out the videos that I want to use in my outreach, or that I want to see specific tips that really fit into one of our parenting sessions, or some specific campaign that we're working toward. So these are great resources, and of course it's really easy to share and use things here from YouTube. So that's been my favorite way of looking at these videos. You can also see videos, tips, and other things on Vroom social media pages. So I hope you can see this. You can see tiles here that you can share on your own social media, or you can build similar things for your own, content. But this is just an example of the different ways that you might access Vroom stuff digitally. Now I'm gonna just bear with me while I switch back to my slides. There we are. Thanks for your patience. Okay, so we've seen a few different ways to look at Vroom tips, obviously, and we looked online, we saw some videos, social media. And so now I want to walk you more specifically through what we have here at the Children's Cabinet to help you, as well as a few other things that might be useful for your program, depending on what your program is. Pretty generic overview. This is a pretty popular item that we have in stock at the Children's Cabinet, both in English and in Spanish. And these are sample Vroom tips for various ages, and they are on a little key ring. So it's a nice little tchotchke to hand out to stuff into your at-home kits. They can go out to new parents. Anyway, there's a number of ways, and these are used in lots of different programs around the state. Again, in English and in Spanish. This flyer is two-sided. This is also in English and Spanish. It's like a good handout for professional development trainings, or for parents, or for other kinds of partners. It's something that you could use in a newsletter or on social media. It has, like I said, two sides. The one side sort of highlights a lot of the activity that's happening in the brain in those first 5 years. And then it also reinforces on the other side the 5 brain building basics that we can use to make any moment a brain building moment. So this one is specifically designed and used in the state of Nevada for families with little babies. So they go in the pink packets, I think they're called, that go to new parents with babies in the hospital who give birth in the hospital. It actually has a little detachable Vroom tip on there that's designed for a young infant. So this is some states have used cards like this. It's a brochure shaped card, two-sided, again in English and Spanish. Some states have used something like this to go with home visitors who visit new moms, like breastfeeding support and other groups like that. The bookmark has been used in a number of different programs. Obviously, this is a nice little flexible tool, and it's just promoting the use of Vroom. It does not necessarily include a tip, but just leads you to download Vroom and to engage with Vroom. So this is a nice piece that is really good at layering into other programs that are, specifically those that are literacy focused. Those have been good opportunities to add this to at-home literacy kits or book checkouts. They're used in the library system, other literacy programs. And they can combine these bookmarks with tip sheets that are printed out that promote literacy or storytelling. Those are different resources that are available. And again, good layering pieces. The Children's Cabinet is part of a nationwide cohort of organizations that are bringing this brain science into communities across the country. One benefit of being part of that group is being able to take advantage of materials that are developed by our colleagues. This is an example of a booklet designed by Child Care Aware of America. It includes tips that work well layered into, classrooms or other early childhood centers. Gives you a glimpse at the ways you might incorporate Vroom actual tips into your daily routine. These are some Vroom tip collections. I showed you before, like on the left, the kind that you can download from vroom.org in a number of different categories and age ranges and languages. There are other tip collections that are put together by other Vroom ambassadors around the country. So this website on the left, you can see Child Care Aware of America's website there. They have put together brain building resources for families and also resources for child care programs. So you can see more of that if you go to their website. So they have put together some really nice looking tip sheets that you can download there as well. And you can even add your own logo if you have the ability to do that. The next few slides I'll go through just to give you some ideas of how programs can use Vroom. There's nobody on this video with me, otherwise I would sort of customize this part of the presentation to think about ways we could integrate Vroom and this collateral and whatever else into your specific program. But for now, I'll just give you some ideas of how others have done it. Like I said before, one of the best things about Vroom is how flexible it is. It really is designed to layer into what each program is doing. It works to be culturally agnostic so that it can be developed to the needs of audiences around the world. And it really just focuses on the fundamentals, the things that apply to all developing humans, right? So not really looking to be more specific than is necessary. Embedding Vroom into your classroom, depending on what your classroom looks like and how you want to do it, there's a number of different ways. It's really simple and easy to do. I showed you the printed piece with tips to use in the classroom during, I think it's outdoor play, transition times, dramatic play, small groups. So that's just a little 6-page booklet with some nicely illustrated tips that you can use in the classroom. I can offer those to your program if you'd like some printed version of those booklets. But Vroom can help you incorporate brain building moments into all parts of the classroom routine. So the list on the left gives you an idea. These examples and the images I'm showing you, you can see that classrooms have posted Vroom tips in the restroom or at the calendar as a reminder to kind of stretch out and make the most of those parts of the day that are everyday moments, really making the most of them and adding some brain building into that routine. In the physical classroom, obviously we can share Vroom tips around the room like those folks have done in those images there, and we can have a Vroom materials available or shared visually in the classroom in the physical space. But some classrooms also will use Vroom digitally in the classroom, maybe sharing an iPad or a laptop that stays in the classroom and has some shared accounts on it. Some partners around the country do it that way. And they customize this account to deliver tips appropriate for the classroom's age group and the activities. And that makes it easy for all the teachers in the classroom to use Vroom and to kind of layer it into their lesson planning. Some programs might be mostly focused on family engagement, or family engagement might be just a component of the program. There's a lot of words for one slide, but I just wanted you to see that there are so many ways to use Vroom in your family engagement efforts, right? So I hope you can see it easily too. You can share Vroom videos at your orientation or on social media. Obviously, give away Vroom collateral. You can host a brain building game night. There's actually some um, great games out there that are designed for brain building and fit really nicely into the same kinds of fundamentals that are behind Vroom and Mind in the Making. You can include Vroom tips in your newsletter and your enrollment packet. You can host a brain building parent engagement demonstration. That's something that the Children's Cabinet can offer you. So our team can be a helpful resource in building Vroom into your family engagement campaign over social media too. There's so many ways to do this. So I'll try to stay on track. We have our own strategy at the Children's Cabinet for sharing Vroom weekly through the Children's Cabinet social media pages and in our newsletters, but it's really easy, like I said, to find content that you can share on social media too. You can share it in online parent engagement sessions too if you want, or it works in Constant Contact or MailChimp or really whatever digital platforms you're using for outreach, you can find a way to use Vroom. What are some examples? This is like a tile that you could just pull or share directly from Vroom's Facebook page. So get formatted nicely to fit into a Facebook post. Videos as well that are formatted for sharing there, or obviously easy to share those videos and link them from YouTube as well. You can offer downloadable materials like these tip sheets we've seen a few times. And then if you're at the superstar level, you can create a video demonstrating a Vroom tip or some way that you're incorporating brain building into your program. Our state librarians are finding clever ways to integrate Vroom tips or brain building messaging into their virtual story times that are happening all over the state. This is a photo of the family engagement grab and go kits that Children's Cabinet has been distributing. We can help you put something like this together, and we really love the idea of giving these to families as they head into Thanksgiving or the holidays, especially this year when home for the holidays looks a little different. So like I said, we can help you with those parent engagement sessions. We're offering virtual and limited in-person parent engagement sessions now. You can engage parents through the grab and go bags, or you can add Vroom collateral to materials that you give to providers or caregivers like enrollment or at-home packets or newsletters. Vroom is, like I said, really great for layering. It's been exciting to see our partners embrace Vroom as part of their evolving program needs right now too. I shared with you earlier, there's thousands of tips and dozens of different categories to be downloaded and printed or shared digitally or shared in any number of other ways. Providers who are familiar with Vroom and its resources are able to provide tools for families or teachers who might have a student needing individual support, whether that's with social emotional skills, particular times of the day or week. There's really, or with particular skills, there are countless ways that Vroom can be part of a toolkit like this. These are just some examples from that Child Care Aware of America website. These are materials that are specific to certain kinds of activities that might really resonate with a particular child. So when you're working with a child that you know well and you want to build something specific for that child, there are some great tools here to offer you. For program integration night, I always want to highlight home visitors because home visiting is an area where Vroom has been especially successful around the country. The graphic you see here is a crosswalk that matches Vroom tips with specific areas of a child's portfolio. I think the curriculum is early steps to school success. But Vroom tips can be used to enhance any curriculum that home visitors already use with parents. They can help discuss brain growth and other child development areas with parents while teaching parents simple and powerful ways of helping facilitate their child's development. Beyond aligning with curriculum, in some rural parts of the country, home visitors have been really successful at reaching families right where they are, surrounding them with empowering science-based messaging, and it's delivered by the community's most trusted messengers because the home visitors have been empowered to create programs that are specific to their tiny rural communities and really engage all of the necessary partners to surround families in those communities with the messaging. And so that's exciting to see what they've been able to do when given that latitude in that setting. The Children's Cabinet's goal is also obviously to surround Nevada families with science-based guidance and tools, and that's going to happen not only through our own programs, but through the partnerships we have in our communities. I hope that today's presentation empowers you to join Nevada's brain building community and use Vroom in your program. I encourage you to order materials through the cabinet, schedule a parent engagement session if you like. And if you'd like to go deeper, there are several upcoming opportunities to learn more about Mind in the Making or other brain building professional development opportunities. My email address is there. If you have questions or if you'd like to order materials, you can reach out to me. Thanks again for joining us.